Good evening, I'm Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Well, I don't think anything happened today, but I'm just kidding. The Nebraska men's basketball team made history on Thursday afternoon, delivering the first NCAA tournament victory in resounding fashion with a 76-47 victory over Troy in Oklahoma City. With the victory, the Huskers improved to 27-6 on the season, setting a school record for single-season victories, and Nebraska advances to the second-round matchup on Saturday against Vanderbilt. The game time and TV information for the contest will be announced late Thursday night. The Nebraska women's team continues their NCAA tournament play, battling an old Big 12 conference rival when the number 11 seed Huskers face number 6 seed Baylor in the NCAA first round on Friday, March 20th in Durham, North Carolina. The Huskers will face off against the Baylor Bears in Friday's second game at Cameron Indoor Stadium on the Duke University campus. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
5:58 to go in the first half of play as Jamarcus Lawrence trots it into the front court, picked up by Cooper Campbell. Bounce pass, left corner, 3-ball. Sanford got another one! 5 of them! Sanford exhorting the crowd, and they oblige, and the Huskers are up 11.
Now Kennedy Williams out top. Who's the scorer in this offense?
Callan Haig.
She'll take a deep three, top of the key. You betcha! Off the assist from Kennedy Williams. Callan's on fire. 14 points and 4 CBA threes.
0-1. Rigo swings, powers one in the air, pretty deep center field. Cepeda goes back to the track, looks, it's gone! Up and out for Drew Grigo. Huskers now lead 8-1.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to University of Nebraska basketball. Kent Pavvela, along with Coach Jeff Smith, the Huskers in the NCAA tournament, and that ever-elusive first big dance win waiting in the wings, here for the taking.
It's almost like a storybook ending, getting this tournament win, because I've been saying all week, it kind of felt like the last thing that we needed to do. So just being able to reap the benefit of all of the things we've done this season has been unbelievable.
Ball in the air, tip controlled by Nebraska. Huskers have the basketball. Here's Hoiberg with the drive, stops, kicks it out. Now Mass drives the ball inside, and the dunk. There's the jam. There it is, the boom shakalaka from Giptonzell himself.
You know, there's a lot of anxiety going into this game with a team that was playing very good basketball, that's coming off a conference championship. The teams are always dangerous in this one-and-done format. They came out and hit shots early, and we talked about, you know, the importance of getting off to a fast start. But if it didn't happen, we had to keep our emotions.
Rink drives the ball, picks it up, coming to it. Jacobson steps back to the left sideline, bounces now on the block over to Mast. On the other side it comes, and the three on the way. Got it! Whiteside! Sanford! And the Huskers are up for the second time, leading for the second time in this ball game. Jamar inbounds it to Prager. Back to Jamar, coming right. One arm to pass in the corner. Good look in the corner of the three. Got it! Rings the bell! Twice Sanford. He's got 2 of those puppies. 115 threes on the year. And that ties this game at 15. Prager comes to the right. They switch it. Price has got it. Price has got his hands on it. Price causes the turnover. Jamarcus the other way. Drops it off the mask. Behind him is Sanford. He's got the three! Bang, a bang, a bang, a bang-a-rang-o! Price Sanford! This place is coming apart. Listen to him.
That was as loud and vocal of a neutral site game as I have ever played in.
Lawrence poses with it up top right. Has a screen by Mast. Steps back. Here's the first shot. And it's good! Bang-a-rang! And that's Jamarcus' first points of the game, his 51st three, and Nebraska's up 6. And now in the corner, it's Mast with the basketball, posing with it. The cutter is Prager. The pump puts it up, across the foul. Could not. He got it! Got it! rolled down for him. I thought it was going to come off the weak side, but it dropped, and Frager, we just talked about him. Strong offensive play there. Mast running the lane line right out to Frager. Extra pass. Price with another three and another make. He's got 4 of them. Price gives Nebraska their biggest lead of the game at 8, 27-19. 5:58 to go in the first half of play as Jamarcus Lawrence trots it into the front court, picked up by Cooper Campbell. Bounce pass, left corner, 3-ball. Sanford got another one. 5 of them. Sanford exhorting the crowd, and they oblige. And the Huskers are up 11. Buchtenzel to Jamarcus, 10 on the shot clock. He's directing traffic. Now the cutter pops out left elbow. Buchtenzel puts it up. No good. Rebound by Mass. Second chance out to Jamar. He got it. Bang. Bang. Bang-a-ringo. But the Huskers go to the locker room up by 16 points, my friends. We're halfway through it. Halfway through making history in Oklahoma City. Nebraska 41. Troy 25. It's back to Frager. Lane line right extended in the corner. Good look for Price. Got it. Got it. Bang-a-ring-a-ring-o. Price-o again. Frager all by himself underneath. Now here's Hoiberg on the other end. Price scored on a 3 last possession. Right corner. It's Mass double teamed out to Jamarcus. He's got the 3. He got it home. Jamar, my boy. Huskers leading by 20, 60-40. Halfway through the second half. Here's an intercepted pass by Frager. Jumped the passing lane. Puts it up. He jammed that puppy. He knocked it down with 2 hands. The jamble for the fabulous freshman Frager.
With about 5 minutes left, I think we're up by 30 and went to a timeout. That's when you start looking up at the crowd and seeing their reactions. And yeah, it was a special feeling being able to kind of cherish that.
Anyway, the shoe's going to fit for the Huskers today. 3-ball good. Frager with an exclamation point right up top right side. Back to Verke and the cutter. Frager, extra pass. Jacobson, 3-ball. Got it. He got that puppy down. Holy smokes. Grinning from ear to ear. Cale Jacobson. The Huskers are up 68-40. Hoiberg has it where the timeline meets the sideline over on the far side of the floor. Dribbles the left hand off the screen from Buchtenzel. Extra pass. Jacobson to Hoiberg up top. Buchtenzel with a 3. Got it! Holy smokes! There he goes. Boom! Shakalaka! Verke Buchtenzel with a 3. 76-47. This place is going to erupt. It's going to absolutely erupt. And here they dribble it out. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second left to go. And there's the horn. There's the game. Nebraska's first NCAA win in history in Oklahoma City over the Troy Trojans. It's all over. There is no next year. It's today. It's March 19th, 2026. A day that will not live in infamy, but will live in glory. And a day we'll never forget.
Husker Nation, how does that feel? A little bit of history here on this Thursday to kick off March Madness. The Husker men's basketball team, they have done it. They have won the first ever NCAA tournament game, beating up a very good Troy team, 76-47. That the sounds I know a lot of you might not have been able to hear Kent Pavvelka's call today with no streaming allowed, but of course on a lot of our Husker stations, and you get a chance to hear some of the highlights from Kent Pavvelka today, and you feel good for him, and certainly he was emotional after, I think he's been calling and at this for 51 years, calling Husker hoops, so he gets to call the first ever win for Husker men's hoops in the NCAA tournament. With that, we welcome you into a very special edition of Sports Nightly. Plenty of hoops here over the next couple hours. I'm Kyle Crooks, and on site in the team hotel, somebody who has not stopped working since the final buzzer of the game. That's kind of when she kicked it into another gear. Jessica Coody, who's with the team and has had a lot of interviews that we'll get to throughout this show. Jess, you were sitting right to the left of Kent Pavvelka for the entire game. I think you had the best seat in the house, did you not?
I did. I definitely did. And Even Jeff Smith too, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was a coach for 4 NCAA tournament teams that didn't get that win. And so getting to watch both of them react, and, I couldn't hear because it was so loud, and I didn't have a live feed to the broadcast. So I could just hear a little bit. And then once the crowd would erupt, I couldn't actually hear, but I could see how he was reacting. And, I kept getting text messages, how's Kent? And there was one point, it was right when Nebraska went on the big run, that you knew that it was in hand, and the crowd just started going nuts. And he kind of sat back, and you could see a little bit of the emotion in his eyes. And that was a really neat moment to get to see him really. I think that was the moment where he really took it in. And because it was one of those games where you knew it was in hand. It was kind of a little bit of a blowout at the end. And so it wasn't as, I guess, high stakes at the end, maybe less of a barn burner, nail biter at the end. And so that moment where you knew it was in hand, I got to see him call that. And that was a really neat moment. And going back to the end of the game, though, when the team was checking out, and very rarely do you get that opportunity in this kind of situation where you can check out your players and get that kind of moment in front of this kind of crowd and kind of give them their flowers like that. And it was just, I got emotional just kind of seeing Price get to check out, and Rink and Burke and Sam. And what a special moment. What an incredible atmosphere. And yes, I had the best seat in the house. There's no doubt about it.
And fans, we want to hear from you, too. We want to hear from Husker Nation. Like you said, I mean, the environment at Paycom Center, it was 98, perhaps 99% Husker fans. It truly sounded, even on television, you had the opportunity of sitting inside the arena and getting the environment from that perspective. But even on television, how loud the pop of the crowd was. And I could think of one moment in particular, Braden Frager's breakaway dunk. I mean, that is a moment for me that'll live for a really long time, and I'm sure the same for Husker fans. But want to hear from you, get your thoughts on what does this win mean to you, longtime Husker Hoops fans. And you can call us 402-413-2400. Also text us, and we'll read those on the air as well. We will have aforementioned voice of Husker men's basketball. Just had a chance to catch up with Kent at the arena, so we'll have that coming up in the next segment. We'll have some player reaction. We'll hear from Fred Hoiberg and his press conference, but we also want to hear from you and get your reaction to this victory today. And Jess, I mean, you look at it, I almost felt like there was a little bit of nerves to start, right? I can remember the Huskers starting 1 of 6 from 3. Troy hit a couple of threes. They got off to a hot start, and before you know it, Troy has the early lead. I think at one point it was 15-12 Trojans, then it completely flipped before the first half, and then the run they went on to start the second half. Price Sandfort with his brother in attendance, I think that was a special thing for him. This was the team that we saw early in Big Ten play, that we saw at the peak of their powers. That was the team that we saw today against a very good Troy group.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of the all contributions from a lot of different places, right? And seeing the different kind of moments. And even though Braden Frager might not have had it going as much from the outside, but you did see him. It's funny, the 3 that he hit at the end, he kind of was like, thank goodness. And so hopefully that carries over into Saturday, and maybe the lid comes off for him a little bit. But the way that he was able to contribute and find other ways to contribute. And then, the defensive lockdown. I mean, I heard it all week from players, going even back to Monday when I was talking to Price Sandfort, and they had to be connected on the defensive end. And so while, yes, Troy had some threes that they kind of threw up and made, and you kind of knew that they were going to cool off a little bit, and they did. And I think they even had 4 turnovers on their first 5 possessions. And then so they settled in. Nebraska settled in, and Nebraska did not shoot it well to get going, but then they started getting hot. And I think, Jamarcus Lawrence looked confident today. And so getting to see him really get going, he moved off the ball today. You'll hear him talk about that. And he just, he felt really good today going into the matchup. And so hopefully getting him going. And so I think, you saw the pieces kind of come together a little bit like what we saw earlier in Big Ten play and earlier in the season. But Price Sandfort was, he had some juice today. And it's funny, a lot of the players Cook actually noted that that was the most fired up and vocal and electric that they have had, that they've seen Price. And hopefully that carries over and they can continue to build off of that. Kyle, I did want to mention too, so it was crazy. It's been crazy down here all day. I was a part of the send-off here at the team hotel, and just to see the Husker fans, I mean, there was no space that any more people could fit in this hotel. They had one little aisle for the team to kind of walk through, and so that was really cool to get to see that. And then everybody makes their way over to the arena, and boy, it starts filling in quick. And I think I was told that there was 69% of the ticket sales were Nebraska fans, but there was way more than that. And I've been in that arena. In fact, I was in that arena almost a year ago, well, a little over a year ago, or not quite a year ago, when the Thunder won the Western Conference Finals. And it was definitely, I think, over 14. It was probably around 14,000 Nebraska fans in there, well over 69%. I can tell you that. But a pretty cool story. My dad was actually listening to local sports talk radio as he was driving home after the game. And Barry Trammell is a well-known writer. He's been here for years and years and years, has covered everything you want to know. Everything he's seen it all. He's seen it all. He's been everywhere. OU played in this building in an NCAA tournament game, Oklahoma State, Kansas. He's covered all those teams. They were even talking about he's covered Kentucky and Nashville. He said he has never ever experienced an NCAA environment like what he experienced today with Nebraska. He said it sounded like a Thunder game. And again, going back to, I've been in that arena for a Thunder game, and it absolutely did. It was absolutely incredible. And hopefully they bring it again. There's no doubt in my mind they'll bring it again on Saturday. And it absolutely fired up and gave this team some juice. And they fed off of it just like they do in PBA North. This is PBA South this weekend.
Yeah, I saw a tweet, and it's a good point of somebody saying that only for Nebraska is a 6-hour drive considered like a 40-minute drive for everybody else. The amount of people that drove down 81, and I was driving in the opposite direction after the series finished up for baseball against Wichita State. I went into a gas station in the convenience store of a gas station. The first thing I see is a Bangarang sweatshirt. So I know exactly what was coming for Oklahoma City, and it was a roaring crowd that was expecting history today, and they got that and then some. But as a lot of the players have said, they're not just happy with one win. This thing continues to get rolling. And Vanderbilt, we do know this, will be the opponent, and we will have the time a little bit later tonight. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Well, Jessica Coody's all over it. She is talking to just about everybody down there. And Kent Pavvela, of course, legendary voice of Husker men's basketball, calling the first win for men's hoops in the NCAA tournament. He was emotional today, and Jess had a chance to chat with him. That conversation is coming up next here on a very special 2 hours of Sports Nightly.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
Find a truck that's ready for any task at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Visit us in-store or shop online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2012 or newer vehicle. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Born with power. Tested by time. It's Ford Truck Month. And this is Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years straight. Hop in and drive the Stampede.
Get $6,750 cash or 0 for 60 with 0 down and no payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 cash on F-150.
Get to Ford Truck Month.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody with the man that called history today, Kent Pavvela. And actually, as we were walking over to record this segment, you got quite the ovation from Husker fans that are still here inside Paycom. They were giving you a standing ovation all the way up into the rafters. But, man, how would you describe today?
Well, there's a lot of layers to it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's this game. It's the first win. It's the 27th win. It's going back to where I started as a kid, watching Fred's grandpa coach as a 10-year-old kid. And then all of a sudden, as I'm doing the game, the little flashes, mental pictures come up about all these people, and so it was more than just the game today. It was all that stuff.
While we were walking over here again, people were asking for your autograph, and this kid, maybe 8 years old, said, "We love listening to you." Oh, wow. I mean, again, and we were talking about that with Jeff earlier, his grandkids like listening. I mean, it's like a new generation is falling in love with this team, with this program, and with radio.
Isn't that great? It's super. Like I said, you don't even know that the old Coliseum used to play. You know what building that is on the campus? That's where they played. I was 10 years old like these kids, But it's interesting that where are they from? You know what I mean? I think, how are you listeners even, Yeah. But apparently they are, but it's kind of cool, kind of neat.
So it's funny because I was getting text messages throughout the broadcast. People throughout the building today said they're kind of surprised you were not more emotional, I guess. But I was sitting next to you. I think there was a stretch in the second half that once Nebraska kind of pulled away and had a run, there was back-to-back threes, and the crowd started going crazy. You kind of took it all in. I kind of saw the emotion on your face there. I mean, if people were saying, hey, you're not as emotional as maybe people expected, what would you say to that?
That they should have tuned in for the open for the senior day. I mean, it came out then for some reason. I don't know, because, I felt like it's getting toward the end, and I thought maybe I didn't know what I'd feel like today. there's another game to play, and quite frankly, I don't even care. You know what I mean? They've won this game. That's all that counts. But like I said, there's just a lot of layers to it for me. Just so many different thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this game. I mean, I guess from the start, what impressed you about this performance and how they came out ready to go?
It reminded me of 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were playing just like they had been playing, and Rink was part of that. And he was maybe missing a little bit in that respect the last few weeks or last 6 weeks. But, yeah, he was back, and Braden was – Frager is such an important piece with that athleticism and rebounding. And of course, Sam and Price, unbelievable. So I thought that it looked like that team again, and I was really impressed with the defense.
Yeah.
And Price in particular, defensively. He was rebounding and
diving on the floor.
Yeah, it was great. It was everything you wanted it to be, right?
It's funny because I was talking to guys in the locker room, and they were all commenting that Price played so well and he shot the ball well, but that was the most juice. He was fired up, that it really kind of brought a lot of energy to this group. That he's not normally like that he kind of brought it up another notch today too.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, I think they fed off that. And, I think they needed a performance from him like that today. And it's interesting, isn't it? The officials actually were not going to allow any holding, and he was able to actually move without the ball, which that's a pretty good concept, Yeah. And when he's able to do that, boy, is he good, man.
Yeah. It's funny because we were talking in the middle of the game, and you asked me what I thought, and we were kind of going back and forth about this. Felt like this team, the way they were playing defense and the way kind of everybody was clicking, that it was maybe more of the team that we saw when they were clicking on all cylinders earlier in the season, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Were you at the BYU exhibition game?
Yeah.
It reminded, they hit the floor that day like, I don't know if it was the preparation, the mental preparation or but they got that back, that edge, and they started the game that way. And it was impressive.
Yeah. Another interesting thing, too, that I took away, I talked to Jamarcus Lawrence, and he said they did a little difference. They moved him off the ball, let Sam kind of bring it up and played more of the point, and it allowed for him to be more confident. And I think we saw a different Jamarcus Lawrence today. He was shooting it with a lot of confidence today.
Yeah, he was. And, he's really, really good player, and I think that was a good decision to give him a little relief from having to monopolize the ball and then try to also be, productive offensively. And so, yeah, I think it was a good move.
It's again, just kind of as you hear them preparing and the coaches and how they lay out the scout, it seemed like these guys were dialed into everything that they had stressed, the rebounding on the offensive side of the ball. They had a lot of offensive rebounds, second chance points, and some of the things that they honed in on all week. It came to fruition here today. Yeah,
obviously they bought into the game plan and the emotional approach that they needed to have. That team was not a Big Ten team either. You know what I mean? So there was no Oscar Clough to deal with. So they were able to do some of the things that I think that were more difficult in the Big Ten against the more physical teams.
Yeah. How about this crowd? You and I were just kind of taking it in from, 90 minutes out?
Yeah, right before we went on the air, I just kind of walked around half of the arena, just looked around. And were you here you weren't here back in what they call No Sit Sunday, right? That game, you heard about it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I did the same thing that day. It was like, I'm going to just kind of walk around and, feel it, get the feel. Unbelievable. And the people, what I'd be interested in knowing is how many of the people here aren't season ticket holders. Like this was an opportunity for them to come, maybe for the they don't come all the time, but boy, were they into it. Such a boost. They give them such a boost.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting too to kind of see the carryover from this morning into Saturday and how many more Husker fans might try to get into the building for Saturday.
Yeah, good luck, right? I don't know what the tickets cost. I'm glad I get mine free, right? We get in for nothing, but I was talking to forget who I was talking to. Anyway, yeah, I think there will be more. I think people don't care, really. They just want to be here, right?
Yeah. And you want to talk about the team having the energy from the start? The crowd also brought it from the start. They didn't have a slow start at all either.
No. I mean, when even during the national anthem, remember? Yeah. It's like, whoa, this is going to be something.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is for as much buildup as it was about, hey, just win the first one, again, talking with the guys, they're not satisfied. I mean, they want to win more than one. And it just seems like, again, they're kind of the approach that we've heard all season long about one game at a time. Mm-hmm. They want to celebrate it, but also they want to win more. So it seems like they're quickly on to the next.
See, we went to Mahogany's the day before yesterday, had the team meal. And so, like, Saturday's game will be like the dessert was. I mean, we had hors d'oeuvres and big steaks. So, Saturday would be a nice little tray of sweets, right? Finish it off.
Yep. Well, how do you feel about this team kind of being able to turn around and being ready to go and maybe win another one?
I'm encouraged, although watching these two teams, McNeese and Vanderbilt, they're way more physical. And I think that was a big key in this one today, is that they didn't get beat up physically. And but I said again, I think that the officiating is going to be to our advantage because they didn't get any favors in the last half of the Big Ten schedule, officiating-wise. Yeah. So,
well, how are you taking it in? I mean, you think it'll sink in a little bit later?
I don't know. I'm just kind of out of energy. Oh, by the way, I was emotional, and I just, first of all, it was a 30-point lead.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Start screaming at the end of the, But I just was more like personally emotional than on the air emotional.
Yeah. And how about for Coach Smith, too, to get to share it with him? He was part of him as a coach, and then it meant a lot to him, too.
It sure did. And I hog the air all the time. I don't let him talk very much, so I got to apologize. But because he was saying the same thing on the air. This belongs to everybody, all those teams, all those players.
Yeah. And how about Coach Hoiberg and just, again, the job that he's done getting this program to where it is? And, I mean, I feel like he's got this thing rolling, and he knows what it takes now.
Yeah. They need to be able to finance it going forward. You got to get players. And so I don't know how that's going to work out or where that sits in comparison to who they're competing against for players, but yeah, he's got a formula, and the biggest part of the formula, I think it's twofold. One, that he knows how he wants to play, and he gets the kind of players that will play the way he wants to play, but it's the culture. Yeah. It's the culture from him on down. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And I think you saw that when he was doing his post-game interview, they all ran over to be able to celebrate with him, and then it was neat, too, to see Rink, you guys got to share a moment. You're hugging him. This is a great group of guys. We were talking about that on the air. They're fun to watch play basketball, but then when you get to know them, it makes it even easier to root for them.
Is there anybody a nicer person than Rink Mast? No. I mean, really?
Maybe Coach Hoiberg.
Yeah. And he, the thing about Coach Hoiberg is, I think I'd just tear my hair out, what's left of it, if I had to deal with every time he moves around. I mean, like you're talking about, I had enough of it in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like I'm going to have to be Kent's bodyguard. Yeah. I mean, even when we were recording for the pregame show, you had people, hey, can you tell Kent we want to take a selfie? I mean, you are a superstar here, too. It's got to be fun for you to be able to, again, be appreciated for the job you've done calling this basketball program for so long.
It is, and I'm not bashful to say it. Feels good, I mean, I don't know how often people appreciate other people's work, Just tell them, and that's pretty cool.
Well, hey, let's do it again on Saturday.
All right, this segment too, or
yeah,
okay.
Well, we don't have Sports Nightly on Saturday, but let's win again, and then we'll have Sports Nightly again next week, and then we'll keep the shows going next week, and we'll have you on every day next week if we can.
And I'll see you next Monday, a week from Monday, this Monday.
Yes.
We're getting ready for the next weekend. Okay.
I love it. And you got Coach Smith in a bow tie today too. Tell us about that.
He told me the very first game, or maybe this summer, he said, if we get to the tournament, I'm wearing a bow tie. And he got one, and he said he practiced, got on YouTube and learned how to do it. It's not easy. And, he said, I put it on. My wife said, it doesn't look too bad.
So are the bow ties coming back on Saturday? Both bow ties? He wearing a bow tie on Saturday.
I bet you he wears the same one. You got to wear a different bow tie on a different day, don't you? Huh?
Well, I don't know if he's superstitious. It's those coaches sometimes.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. Well, you'll wear something different.
Maybe I need a bow tie. Can I get into the bow tie trio?
Well, you got to learn how to tie it. Because you can't buy the pre-tied ones.
Oh, I'm not allowed to do that?
No, look, this is the allure of this is it's tied. I've tied this.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. I'll have to maybe. I don't know if I can do that in the next 48 hours, but I'll see what I can do.
That'd be good.
Well, thank you again. It's been fun. And, yeah, looking forward to the next 48 hours, and hopefully let's do it again. And we don't know at game time yet, right?
No.
So we'll keep you posted on when they'll be on the air next. But for Kent Pavvela, I'm Jessica Coody, and more Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The Honda Accord from Woodhouse Honda is more than just a reliable sedan. It's your everyday upgrade. Lease the 2025 Honda Accord LX for $199 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in-store or online at woodhousehonda.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $3,000 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250127. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Also, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. It's a celebration night here on Sports Nightly as the men have won their first ever NCAA tournament game. I'm sure the celebration is continuing in Oklahoma City. Also, the women winning their play-in game to get a chance to play Baylor tomorrow. We'll have Matt Coatney at the start of the second hour. We welcome in Jessica Coody once again back in Oklahoma City. And Jess, you were in the locker room after the game. We'll get a chance to get some of the player reaction here on the show as well. Just what was the overall mood? Was there an exhale at all because of, I don't know, the pressure that was surrounded around this game, that they would have to be the team that would, in effect, end this curse of the NCAA tournament?
So because I think they fully expected to do what they did today. You know what I mean? I mean, we talked about it, and I was actually on the broadcast today with Jeff and Kent, and we kind of addressed that going into it, that, you know, I've talked to a lot of the players when they decided to come here or even going into the season, and they fully embraced wanting to be this team, and they didn't shy away from that, and that they wanted to be the first team to do it. So I think they kind of, embraced it, and being that it was a mature team, I think they knew how to handle all of that. And I think they were elated, and they're glad that they can go down in history and that it's done. But to me, what was more than that was that, hey, we're not even going to celebrate this very much because we want to move on to the next one, because they're not just here to win one game. So that to me was, I think, more telling than even just the, hey, rah, we won one. We got the monkey off the back. It's, hey, let's go win another. I mean, I think that to me is what was really what I took away from the messaging, is that they're pretty focused on not just winning one here in Oklahoma City.
And Coach Hoiberg said the same thing in his post-game meet with the team and with the media. He said, are you satisfied? And everyone says no. And next up is Vanderbilt. Denny in Omaha texts in. He thinks Berke really helped the team play well because of his good defense and rebounding. Of course, that was a key today. Rebounding, defense, turning him over. But Berke and Rank were obviously very big when it came to the glass on the defensive end and on the offensive end. And Jess, as part of her player reaction, had a chance to check up with Berke after the game. Here's that conversation.
Berke, you didn't have any fun out there today, it didn't seem.
Oh yeah, it was so exciting. It was just awesome game, and we all know that we love winning, and we finally win here. So just happy emotions.
Yeah, what did it feel like when that buzzer sounded and you guys did what you kind of set out to do and wanted to be this team?
Like, we were just like, oh, we finally did it. Like, we were just more than happy. Not for us, we were happy for the Lincoln community and the university's like praise and other stuff, because we just made a history more for them, not for us, and we're just happy now for the next game.
You guys seem to be on a mission on the boards, you and Rink, and lots of second chance points. How important was that for you guys to provide that for this team today?
Like, first rebound, Rink got it in the first 2 minutes, like offensive rebound, and he initiated the contact, and that was all our goal, like crash them on the rebound, because they were not a great defensive rebounding team, but they are a great offensive rebounding team. So crash in the defensive rebound and hit in the defensive rebound. That was it.
So how much did you kind of take on that and want to make sure that you were helping provide that for the team?
I was just doing my job. That was it. Like that's we all do. Everybody has a job to do in here, and my job was to get the rebounds and kick out the price so he can have 27 points, 30 points. so happy for him.
How about just the defensive effort? How good did that feel for you guys to put that defensive performance together?
If like there's a one saying that offense can win a game and defense can win a championship, that's it. Like we just need to keep the defensive activity high in every ground, and I think that we are a great defensive team, and we can go all the way around with that.
Seems like this team isn't satisfied, right?
No. We have one more game after that, one more game, and after that, one more game.
That's the motto all year, right? How important has it been for this team to continue just to keep the main thing, and do what you've done all season?
So the main thing is just like go all the way. Yeah, Rink. We go all the way as our power goes, so that's the thing.
Last thing, how about PBA South today and what Husker Nation did for you guys?
Oh my God, I am so thankful for them to come here and supporting us. I really love them all, respect them all, and thank you again.
Thanks, Berkay.
Of course.
Jess, great stuff with Berkay, and he's the Energizer Bunny for this team, but you always mention the phrase X factors when it comes to tournament play, and he's one of those guys. You mentioned second chance points in the conversation with him, 19-3 offensive rebounds. He had 3 of them. Rink was huge in that category as well, and when Berkay hit that 3 as well, you just sort of felt it was Nebraska's day, and it certainly was, but he's a character and one of those guys that keeps it loose throughout a long season.
He is so funny. We're actually working on a piece where TikTok type piece that we started with him, and he's the personality, and I think you even talked to Coach Hoiberg about that earlier in the season about, kind of being the guy that's always going to provide the laugh in the locker room. But wait till you hear what Jamarcus Lawrence said about Berkay and just how important he was. Again, I think from the outside perspective, if you just tuned in as a college basketball fan, not a Nebraska fan, but watch this game for the first time, I think most people will point to Price Samford, but there was a lot of love towards what Berkay did on the boards, and then also Rink, because they knew that was going to be a big key if they, to really dominate and pull away. And this one was dominating on the boards, and they understood the assignment, and they did that. And so Jamarcus answers it perfectly here in a little bit when we play that conversation. So they were really big, and that was a key emphasis going into it. And Berkay certainly did his part today.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation with Jamarcus a little bit later in the second hour. We'll have Matt Coatney, voice of Husker women's basketball, to start hour 2. Of course, they're getting set to play their second game of the NCAA tournament against Baylor, and they hope to move on to the weekend as well, or Monday in this case, to a second-round game in the NCAA tournament. So a lot of good things happening here in March, and we still have one more segment here in Hour 1 as we talk about the men's team getting that first historic win in the NCAA tournament. We'll talk a little bit about the women and much, much more, so make sure you stay tuned in here on Sports Nightly.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor. Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home. And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Final few minutes here of the first hour. Very special Sports Nightly across the Huskers radio network. Still have a lot to do as we have another hour left. Matt Coatney, the voice of Husker women's basketball, will be with us to start the second hour. We'll hear from Fred Hoiberg, also player reaction from the locker room after this historic day for the Huskers getting that first win on the men's side. We did have a text come in, Dr. J and Kearney. Again, you can call the show 402-413-2400. He says today was epic with that win, and the expectations for men's basketball, they've been low for a little bit, but hopefully they can make a run at GBR. And I can tell you what, the expectations, Jess, they have certainly changed now, and I've talked to Fred about this. The floor has been raised now for the foreseeable future about what can be done in the offseason, and that's a conversation for another day. But a season like this has a ripple effect that it can be sustainable. You can bring players into this place, you can build a winning culture, and you can build a real contender in March.
Again, we don't want to look too far ahead because we want to celebrate what's going on now, but look at the pieces that are coming back that they expect to be able to bring back. And then you can supplement out of the portal and, with the pieces that they want to bring in to match. And again, I think Coach Hoiberg has kind of found what works and the culture and all of that and what works in the locker room. And so, the expectations is to continue to build, and not just Coach Hoiberg, but, he's got the full support behind Troy Dannon. And you've had conversations with him too, and just how important that is as well. So it's going to be fun, but I certainly agree. And it's Kent said it earlier when you heard him saying about he felt like back in when he was covering this team and traveling everywhere with football and just the passion and just the fan base. And now you're feeling that now with what fans feel about this team with this basketball team. And so it's been pretty cool. And I don't think this program, this coaching staff, this administration, anybody, this fan base expects anything other than for this team to continue to roll and for it to continue to roll after this season as well. Yeah.
Just being
also,
around.
By the way, another piece coming back, Connor Segan just walked by me. I'm in the team area that they're about to have a team meal and I think probably go over some film. Connor Segan coming back next year. That's another piece that we forget that wasn't here that probably would have been a big factor in this year's team as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they have some really good freshmen that Fred has talked about that are coming into this program, and you never know what the transfer portal is going to look like for this team as well. Again, conversation for another day. There's still this season in March Madness. Husker fans, make your plans now to attend one of the most exciting events in Nebraska sports this year with the Big Red Play host to the Big Ten Men's Gymnastics Championships at Pinnacle Bank Arena, April 3rd and 4th at 7 p.m. Get your all-session tickets now through Ticketmaster for just $15. Have only about a minute left here in hour one. Want to remind you of what's coming up here in hour two. Matt Coatney, the voice of Husker women's basketball. He is at Cameron Indoor Stadium. He'll have the call tomorrow for the technically first-round game with the Baylor Bears, the 6th seed against the 11th-seeded Huskers. We'll have that conversation, preview that matchup against Baylor, former Big 12 foes. We'll hear from Fred Hoiberg. We'll have some more player reaction as well, as Jessica was doing her job and doing it really well after the game, getting a lot of post-game reaction. And certainly an emotional day for a lot of Husker fans, and can't say enough about what the fan base showed today and will show on Saturday. That environment, that makes an absolute difference for the Huskers today in a blowout win. But still more to do here on Sports Nightly. We'll talk a little women's hoops, more men's hoops reaction. That's all next here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Good evening, I'm Christopher Sullivan-Diaz. Our Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team made history on Thursday afternoon, delivering the first NCAA tournament victory in resounding fashion with a 76-47 victory over Troy in Oklahoma City. With the victory, the Huskers improved to 27-6 on the season, setting a school record for single-season victories. Nebraska advances to a second-round matchup on Saturday against Vanderbilt. The game time and TV information for the contest will be announced late tonight. The Nebraska women's team continues their NCAA tournament play, battling an old Big 12 conference rival when the 11-seed Huskers face 6-seed Baylor in the NCAA first round on Friday, March 20th in Durham, North Carolina. The Huskers will face off against the Baylor Bears in Friday's second game at Cameron Indoor Stadium on the Duke University campus. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Our Sports Ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
5:58 to go in the first half of play as Jamarcus Lawrence trots it into the front court, picked up by Cooper Campbell. Bounce pass, left corner, 3-ball. Sanford got another one! 5 of them! Sanford exhorting the crowd, and they oblige, and the Huskers are up 11.
Now Kennedy Williams out top. Who's the scorer in this offense?
Callan Haig.
She'll take a deep three, top of the key. You betcha! Off the assist from Kennedy Williams. Callan's on fire. 14 points and 4 CBA threes.
0-1. Rigo swings, powers one in the air, pretty deep center field. Cepeda goes back to the track, looks, it's gone! Up and out for Drew Grigo. Huskers now lead 8-1.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back in. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly. It's a huge basketball show, and we know why. Not just the men, and they're making history today with the first NCAA tournament win and a blowout victory over Troy. But yesterday, I was... our next guest, I was listening to him for just about all of my drive home yesterday from Wichita State after the Huskers took 2 games against the Shockers. I get in my car and I got Matt Coatney and I got Jeff Creech. That's the way that it's supposed to be here in March as the women's team took down Richmond 75-56. They'll get set to take on Baylor tomorrow, and we'll have that game here on all of our Husker Radio Network stations. So, Coatney, we welcome in Matt Coatney here, and congratulations on the win. I love listening to you guys and having you and Greesh in my ears and blasting in my car and listening to that third quarter. Just hearing the positive vibes around the team after the Big Ten tournament. Where do you sit after a game like that? And not just win, but just like the men, win going away.
Yeah, win going away, and it was a feel-good win for Nebraska. I really felt like, Kyle, this team needed to have a feel-good win after the way they lost in the Big Ten tournament by having a 20-point lead against Indiana and then it going away. When Nebraska got up 10 in the second quarter and then it got cut to 2 at halftime, I'll be honest with you, I was a little worried because this is a team for Richmond who's second in the nation in 3-point field goals, and I thought they could come out and really do something. But my goodness, did this team follow the game plan? They absolutely shut down Richmond, everything they wanted to do. They followed the game plan. That 17-0 run to start the third quarter, put the game away. And what a fun bus ride back to the hotel after that. Kind of a big sigh of relief. Anytime you survive and advance in March Madness, you feel good, but that was an especially satisfying win for the Huskers.
Chatting with the voice of Husker women's basketball, that's Matt Coatney of the call of the next matchup coming up. It's Baylor, and that'll be 12:30 tomorrow. The coverage will start on the Huskers Radio Network at Cameron Indoor Stadium, historic venue when you see the brackets come out, Coat, and the history in that place, sometimes you get to luck out when you go to a certain venue. In this case, it's probably not the most broadcast-friendly building. It's pretty antique. I think that's putting it lightly. But there's so much history there. You and Grease are up in the crow's nest. Do you have enough space up there?
There's lots of space up there. It's just getting up there. It's like, is there enough space at the top of Mount Everest? Sure, you just got to get up there. No, it's, our players, almost every one of them kind of walked in like they know the history of Cameron Indoor. And they all commented about, wow, this is a lot smaller than even we were told what it is. But you see the banners, you see the Hall of Fame. Duke does a really good job of letting you know about their history. No, it is absolutely not designed for convenience for a person like myself. But you know what? We came here to play basketball, not to be convenienced. And I don't know how. I'm about as old as it was. Jeff Grease says, we were there when they laid the wood with Dr. Naismith. But I don't know how I've never ended up here to call a basketball game. So this is a big check mark off my bucket list.
Let's go to the defense, Coat, and you look at it. Richmond, big part of the scouting report on them was what they averaged north of 10 threes made per game, one of the top 3-point shooting teams. They're going to shoot a high volume. And then you look at the box score, they're 4 for 23. Defensively, there was a clear game plan of what Amy Williams wanted to do. How were they able to get Richmond out of their element?
Well, first of all, a big tip of the cap to the entire Husker coaching staff. Jessica Keller had the scout, but Tamden Mays and Julian Asibe and Taylor Edwards. I mean, they really picked apart a way of keeping Rachel Olstrom, who is the all-time 3-point field goal leader at Richmond. They absolutely frustrated her. And then I really thought the key, and Jeff Reese did a great job bringing this up during the broadcast, was Allie Sweeney, the point guard. They had to take her out of the game because when Haley Weaver came in off the bench, Sweeney was not comfortable dribbling the ball and kept turning it over, and they couldn't get into their offense. They had to bring in that freshman, Scott, and it was very, very evident. So high pressure, taking away the comfortability of what Richmond wanted to do. I thought really the key there was Sweeney and Olstrom playing tough pressure defense against them. Really changed the way everything went in that game. And I give a big tip of the cap to how that Husker coaching staff put together that scouting report.
Chatting with Matt Coatney after the Huskers yesterday defeat Richmond in a play-in game, 75-56, and now we'll have Baylor coming up tomorrow, 12:30 start to Matt and Jeff's coverage here on the network. Callan Hake, that's a player who, I heard you guys mention a couple times about how happy you were for her and the opportunity to get a chance to play in an NCAA tournament game. Again, this was not something that was guaranteed heading into Selection Sunday. There was a lot of nail biting and hearts pounding, that's for sure. But she gets a chance, and then how big she was with 4 of 5 from 3. She was right 1 3 away from the Husker NCAA tournament single game record for threes in a tournament game.
Yeah, she was, and she has really been in a slump shooting the three. And Callan is such a huge part of what Nebraska does. Even if she doesn't score any points, she is one of the best defensive players in the country. I've been saying that the last 3 years, and she took 2 more offensive fouls last night. Kyle, one of my favorite moments of the year, and maybe in her career, was after she took that second charge. Amy Williams put in a sub, and as Callan came off the floor, Amy threw the black shirt bones at Callan Hake. And I've never seen Amy Williams have that much raw emotion. I've never seen her do that to anybody. That's how important Callan Hake is, I think, to Nebraska's defense. Now, offensively last night, and I asked her about this during the press conference today, I said, you were 4 for 5. Do you like shooting in Cameron Indoor Stadium? And she started laughing and said, yeah, it's a fun place to shoot. And, her offense, when she's clicking, it really helps out the rest of the team. Richmond was supposed to be the great 3-point shooting team. They made 2 threes yesterday. Nebraska was 50% and made 11 3-pointers. Callan Hake was a huge part of that, and I was very happy for her because, you cheer for all the players, but this one especially, a captain, She is on so many different panels, student leadership groups. She's the kind of person you want to cheer for, to see her come in her final NCAA tournament and just have a big game offensively and defensively and lead the team, not in words, but in her actions. I'm a team play-by-play announcer. I make no bones that, you get to know these players and you have a soft spot for them. And there's really no player I have a bigger soft spot for than Callan Hake.
What can you say? And sometimes we don't talk about her enough. It's kind of like Price on the men's side because they're so good and the ceiling's so high and the expectations are so high. But Britt Prince has 22, 10 of 14 from the floor, hits the only three that she puts up. But her consistency all year long, still as a young player, put her on that stage, and it doesn't seem to bother her in the least bit. What did you see from Britt yesterday? What can we expect from her tomorrow?
I said it on the air. It seemed like the game was in slow motion for her yesterday. She was calm, in control. She was nailing mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper, step back from the mid-post. And her defense, I think, led to her offense. She had 2 blocks in the game. She is playing her best basketball of her career right now. And I'm happy to see it because, I remember talking to her mother, Ann Prince, after a game during the losing streak back in February. And I think Britt was in a funk. That wasn't the reason Nebraska had the winning streak. But, I think the 2 wins at the end of the season really helped her. And I would not be surprised when Britt's a senior, if we look back at that shot she hit to beat Washington, that might have elevated her game even another step. I mean, Kyle, you're talking about 10 of 14 from the floor in an NCAA tournament game as a sophomore. That is very poised. You don't expect to see that out of anybody, much less somebody in their second NCAA tournament game. And I just think right now she's having fun. I've talked to Britt, I think, 3 times today in various activities we have, and she just seems to really be enjoying this entire atmosphere down here in Durham, and I'm so happy for her.
And the goal is not to just win one, but keep going. And Baylor's the next team up, 6th seed. You look at them, 24 wins, 13-5 in conference, the things that jump off the paper, and I'm sure that the same thing for you is – defense, rebounding, rim protection. They're one of the better teams in terms of protecting the rim in the country. Is that sort of the lowdown as they start on the defensive end and kind of the intensity they bring there?
Well, yeah. And, I've been looking at Daliana Littlepage Buggs for the last 4 years. She was a Big 12 Freshman of the Year her first year. Amy Williams said at the press conference today, one of the things that impressed her about Littlepage Buggs was an interview she did, which she said, I realize that even if I'm not scoring or I'm in a slump, I can still go get rebounds. And this is the only player in the Big 12 who is averaging a double-double. She averages 10 points and 10 rebounds. So she's slippery. You look at her and you don't go, oh, well, there's a great rebounder. She finds angles and she positions herself to get rebounds. So that's a number one problem with Baylor. But I think it all starts with Scott, their guard, who is just a scoring machine. Now, that said, Talia Scott had a nightmare game against Colorado, and she's been banged up lately. But I don't think that's going to bother Baylor. She's had over a week to get prepared here. They're athletic, and Nikki Collin is. You think about this, Kyle. If you replace Kim Mulkey, you've got big shoes to fill. Kim Mulkey took over a moribund Baylor program in 2001 from Sonia Hogue and took him to 3 national championships. And when Nikki Collin came out of the WNBA to take over that program, I thought, well, that's going to be impossible. Well, she's done a great job. Now, she's not taken them to any national championships, but Baylor fans are very happy with what Nikki Collin has done. And she plays a style of basketball that's hard to deal with if you're an opponent. They're deep. And you mentioned it. They come off the bench with size. They will rebound the ball, and they will defend. They are high in the nation in defending the three-point shot. So Nebraska can't depend on Logan Nisley, Callan Hake, Britt Prince standing out there shooting threes. Nebraska is going to have to get into the lane, and they're going to have to put on their big girl pants and try and out-rebound Little Page Bugs, which is not easy to do.
Matt, what was Amy's message today? You mentioned the media. I would sense the program is re-energized after what happened. I mean, it was a gut punch in the Big Ten tournament, but that's now in the rearview mirror. You've won a tournament game. You have a new lease on life, a chance to make a run in March. It's what it's all about. Do you sense a new energy around this team after yesterday and specifically around Amy?
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, that was a fun bus ride back from Cameron Indoor last night. You know, there's a lot of players' families who are here. And Amy, didn't get any sleep last night. None of the coaches did. I didn't get any sleep last night either, getting prepared for this game because it's a quick turnaround. But she has been smiling all day. And when I talked to her, she was like, everybody is so energized with what's going on here. So this is a coach that is very happy with her team, a little bit justified. You could sit here and I get interviewed, Amy gets interviewed during that losing streak, and you're like, what's wrong with the team? And you can just sit here and tell people so long, well, we're basically playing a Sweet 16 team every night. And after a while, you're like, well, you got to beat some of those teams. I think Amy feels a little bit validated by what has happened here, but she's very, very proud of her team for their mental approach, overcoming what they did, and especially for following that scouting report last night. And just an excellent show. So Amy and the team, they're very energized, and everything is upbeat here right now.
Pick to click for you outside of some of the main characters that are in the play here for the Huskers. Who else do you feel like is, whether coming off the bench, sort of an X factor type that you expect or that need to have a big game against Baylor?
Well, I think Amaya Hargrove has to be huge. She's a leading rebounder for a Husker team that's not known for their rebounding. Amaya has really blossomed in the second part of her sophomore year. She gets in the middle of the defense around that elbow area and can score. Last night, Petra Bojan threw a couple of dandy assists to Hargrove, and then Jessica Petrie is probably the second X factor there. 4 assists on 4 consecutive possessions. I didn't see that coming. Her passing skills will be huge to get the ball to Hargrove, but Petrie and Hargrove are going to have to get down on the block and rebound the ball. Amy Williams said in her press conference, rebounding is going to be the number one key to beating Baylor, and I completely agree with that. If the Huskers don't at least match Baylor on the glass, it could be a long afternoon for them. A lot of people have asked me, compare Baylor to somebody we know, and I really think Husker fans will look at Baylor and they remind me a lot of Oregon, a team that beat Nebraska by a single digit game out on the West Coast, and a lot like Washington, also a team that Nebraska beat. They remind me so much of a Big Ten type of team, which, Nebraska is going to be ready for Baylor, but they're going to have to rebound.
Do we have the T-shirts made, lunch with Coatney and Gresh? Can we do that tomorrow, 12:30, start to the pregame? I think I'll make the T-shirts. Give you a cut.
Well, everybody has permission to sneak out of work about 12 noon Central tomorrow, and I will be happy to buy lunch for anybody who shows up in Durham, North Carolina, and shows up in the press box and has a credential. So if you can do that, I'll buy you lunch.
Well, we don't want you losing money. We want you getting money. So we're going to try and get those T-shirts ready to go. Matt Coatney, Jeff Gresh, they'll have the call pregame starting at 12:30 here on these stations on the airwaves on the Huskers Radio Network. Coat, you're the man. Love listening to you on my drive back from Wichita, and your voice in March, it's synonymous. So appreciate you popping on, and let's go get another.
Hey, I'm still dancing, surviving advanced, and I packed all the way through the weekend. So let's go get it done. Thank you, Kyle.
Matt Coatney, voice of Huskers women's basketball. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Coming up here on Sports Nightly, we'll tap into the press conference postgame for Fred Hoiberg. Of course, the first Husker win in NCAA tournament history. That's coming up next on the show.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Get behind the wheel of a new SUV at Woodhouse Hyundai. Right now, lease the 2026 Hyundai Kona SE for just $299 per month. And with Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get started online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com today. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax title license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number HY260170. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Once a year, a rhythm thunders across the countryside. It can't be tamed. It can only be driven. It's Ford Truck Month. Let's ride. These trucks, they haul, tow, and conquer everything in their path. So hold on tight and drive the Stampede.
The Stampede is running at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 cash on Super Duty.
Get to Ford Truck Month.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Husker fans, the Nebraska football spring game is back in Memorial Stadium. Don't miss your chance to get a first look at the 2026 Husker football team at the Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO on Saturday, March 28th. Tickets are on sale now and start at just $5. Act fast as the price of tickets goes up during the week of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets and go Big Red, of course. And it's Go Big Red today as the Huskers men's team picking up that first NCAA tournament win. The women are getting set to be back in action tomorrow as they'll take on Baylor, and all of that, we'll have that on the network. Also, some notes of some other things going on around the network. Of course, we're going to have baseball starting tomorrow, 2:30 start to our coverage. That's a Friday through Sunday series. The Huskers on a winning streak right now. They'll be back in the Big Ten play against Michigan. Softball is not too far away in East Lansing. They'll be at Michigan State Friday through Sunday series, 3:45 start to our coverage there. All right, Jess, so much going on.
Hey, Kyle, how about one more update for you?
Sure.
So I'm also watching wrestling right now.
Of course you
And
are.
Brock Hardy has advanced to the quarterfinals, and Chance Lamer at 149 comes in as the 20 seed. He just knocked off the number 4 seed. So a huge upset there as the Huskers now 2 for 2 advancing to the quarterfinals, and they still got a lot of guys coming up. So off to a great start here in the championship round 2, and Jacob Van D won in the consolation bracket. So good start for the Huskers here tonight as March Madness continues, a new term you learned this week.
I learned that this week. So that's going on in Cleveland right now. So there's so many things that are, I know I was talking to Troy this week for his radio show, and he's flying back and forth between the men's and the women's teams, and he's like, he's trying to find a way to get out to wrestling. So there's so many things going on. I want to get your thoughts, Jess, on the women's victory, because, you know, we, in a way, we sort of forgot about the Big Ten game. We sort of put that aside, and it was a week of waiting to see if they were in the field. They're in the field. They have an incredible third quarter, really beat up on Richmond, a very good mid-major team, and now here they are, a chance to win 2 NCAA tournament games.
Yeah, and I think we've talked a lot about that. You and I have talked about this. I've had some conversations with some folks here that work closely with that team as well. When the Nebraska women's basketball team is clicking on all cylinders, they can compete with a lot of teams in this tournament. They're a tough out. I'm sure they're a team that Baylor was watching on Wednesday night, thinking, "Oh, we don't want to play that team." You know, Britt Prince was aggressive, and I know that's not in her nature. She's more of a distributor by nature. She's kind of a pass first type of point guard, but she was more aggressive, look for her shot. And Callan Hake, I talked to her on Selection Sunday, and she talked about kind of embracing the moment and leaving everything out there, knowing, I think it just probably feels a little bit different for a senior, knowing that, hey, you know, this could be my last chance wearing this uniform. And so she was great from the outside. And so, yeah, when this team is hitting shots from the outside, when I think we talked a little bit about this, the men's team earlier, clicking on all cylinders, they can compete with just about anybody in the country. It's the same thing for the women's team. We've seen it all year long. They've just had a problem closing out the games, you know, and kind of going through rough patches in games to be able to close out games. But when they're clicking, they can compete with a lot of these teams. And so if they can get hot, they certainly could go on a special run too. I think they match up well with Baylor. I think they can win another one on tomorrow, I guess.
They outscored Richmond 27-6 out of the locker room, and Richmond cut it pretty close right before halftime. And you're sort of thinking, okay, this could swing in the wrong direction for Nebraska. Then in the third quarter, you outscore them 27-6. Again, you get off to, I forget how many points in a row they scored without Richmond being able to put up a point, but it was a decent run out of the locker room. You were 11 of 17 in the third quarter, Jess.
Yeah, it was that's what you want to see out of this team, because I think what we haven't seen is when teams punch back, sometimes they have not responded well to that. What we saw in the Big Ten tournament, and which was disappointing, and sometimes the runs going back to Oregon, you know, one of the last games of the season, you know, when teams have gone on runs, not being able to respond. But when Richmond had their run, Nebraska responded back, and so when they can do that, that was good to see. And once you saw them kind of coming back out aggressively out of halftime, it felt pretty good about them closing it out. That was one of their, I don't know, probably their best performance of the season, don't you think? Which is the best time to put it all together.
That's right. Same thing probably goes for the men and what we saw today as well. I did want to bring up Fred Hoiberg and his thoughts post-game. Wanted to get that to you because he mentioned a lot about the crowd and this team and how they're built emotionally. They're not too high. They're not too low. Here's that post-game scrum Fred Hoiberg had with the media. Wanted to get that to you here on Sports Nightly.
Yeah, really proud of our guys. I thought they were extremely locked in this week going into this first game of the tournament. And, you know, we talked a lot about that after the disappointment in the Big Ten tournament playing against Purdue. And we had to get over that one. We learned from it. We had a pretty vocal film session that following morning, and then moved on to Troy. And, you know, there was a lot of anxiety going into this game with a team that was playing very good basketball, coming off a conference championship. The teams are always dangerous in this one-and-done format, and they came out and hit shots early. And we talked about, you know, the importance of getting off to a fast start. But if it didn't happen, we had to keep our emotions. I thought we got a little bit out of sorts and a little out of character in the Big Ten game, but I thought we got right back to who we are today. 20 assists, 6 turnovers. We forced them into 17 turnovers. Second chance points, 19-3. Those were huge in this game. Points off turnovers were big, and then points in the paint. And we did a great job of moving the ball, playing simple basketball. This team forces a lot of turnovers. You can't play in a crowd against them. I thought a couple early we turned it over, but then we got back to who we are. So just really proud of these guys. Happy to get this, this win for the first one in the history of the program. Most wins in a single season in the history of the program, but we can't be satisfied. We got to move past it. I ask the guys, as I do after every win, are you satisfied? And to a man, they said no. So got to get over it quickly. We'll have a film session tonight on whoever we will face in the next round, but couldn't be more proud of our guys. And the last thing I want to say is that was as loud and vocal of a neutral site game as I have ever played in, and it's amazing. When we went out for the anthem, we had a little monitor in the coach's room, kind of see it filling in. But when I went out for the anthem, I got goosebumps, and I got a little emotional just seeing how the fans showed up for us, and they were a huge factor in that thing. When we went on a run, it was deafening in there, and just really thankful that we could share this moment with our unbelievable fans, and I promise you we're going to keep fighting and keep swinging.
Fred, what is the challenge now to kind of get off this high and regroup for a game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, Sean, I'm confident our guys will do it. They've done it all year. And, this is the most emotional of all of them was for me. You talk to the players about when they got sort of soaking it in. I did it, I think there was a minute 13 left when there was both benches were empty. And, it's emotional for me. I think of my dad who's in a home right now. I hope he got a chance to watch this one. I can't wait to talk to him just because of what it means for our family. And it is emotional. There's no doubt about it. But these guys all year long have moved on. They've been so resilient. They've gotten over big wins. They've gotten over tough losses. And I'm confident that they're going to do that again and be locked in. We always talk about the next thing. The next thing is a film session tonight. After the recovery, these guys love sitting in the cold tubs, which our strength coach is filling those up with ice right now. So they're going to get the recoveries, and then we're going to get back and we're going to have a really good film session tonight. We're going to play a great team. Whoever wins this next one, and I know our guys are going to be locked in, and we'll have a good walkthrough, put in the game plan tomorrow, and guard it a little bit. And then I don't know what time we're going to play, obviously, on Saturday. So we'll get our game time. If we get a shoot around to get another opportunity, great. If not, we'll do a walkthrough in the hotel. But I promise you, our guys are going to be locked in.
How big was Braden Frigger's impact off the bench today, the energy that he provided? Sam talked about being the more desperate team, and how did Braden Frigger help you impact you guys in the way that you guys played?
Yeah, I thought Braden played with unbelievable energy and purpose today, and I told him at halftime, keep shooting it, and he did. He listened to me. But we need that. We need Braden aggressive. We need him shooting the ball. I thought he made a huge impact on the other end. I thought defensively he had great hands. He was all over the place. He rebounded it. I just was really, really happy for him because I know how much it means. For everybody, the local guys, Braden grew up dreaming of this moment, growing up in Lincoln, and these guys have, it's turned into their home for Rink, being from across the pond, and Jamarcus being, from all the way in the other on the East Coast. So, it's really turned into a home for these guys. A lot of it's because of the fans. They make them feel so comfortable and so welcomed. Price grew up next door. He grew up a Husker fan, and then Sam was pissed when I took this job because he wanted to live in Chicago for a couple more years. But we get him there, and he sees what this thing is all about. And I don't even remember what you asked me, but it was Frigger, yeah. But yeah, Braden was awesome.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, Jess, about Fred and a lot of guys on this team is that they grew up Huskers, right? Fred has that background of being a Husker, and he said being a crazy Husker football fan growing up. So it's in their blood, it's in their DNA, and I think that's what makes this different, right? Is these guys are playing for their childhood teams.
Yeah, and I go back. I've had several conversations with Sam Hoiberg, obviously over the last 5 years, and I remember having conversations with him about how hard it's been for him, being multiple reasons, but being the coach's kid and seeing just the challenges of those few years where it was, they had a lot of losses and the not making the tournament and So then his role continues to grow, and then how much it means to him now for different reasons other than just his dad's the coach. And so, yeah, there's so many just stories that for these guys of their investments and how much this place means to them. And I mean, Jamarcus coming back, I talked to him back in the summer and for the newcomer series, but obviously a return conversation for him. And he said it just was always in the back of his mind. It just lingered. It just kind of nagged at him a little bit. And just so for him to be able to basically come back home. And so it becomes a second home. And then I think it's also worth noting too, a guy like Bryce McGowan's and even Juwan Gary, who it comes back every chance he gets. Now these guys that even have moved on and might be chasing pro careers, they come back and train here every chance they get. They want to work out with Kurt Joseph, who's one of the best in the business. And so even when they are done playing, they still don't want to come back every chance they get. And so I think it'll be the same for this group. But there's just something about the culture in that locker room. And then again, what this fan base makes those guys feel. And it becomes a home for them. And then they want to win even more. And I think that, again, when you hear these conversations with these guys, it can Burkay, Jill, same thing. It was just we want to win for us in the locker room, but we also want to win for you guys. We want to win for the fans who have, again, willed us to some of these wins too. So they know how much it means to the people in the state. And so, yeah, it's you could go on and on about that, but they certainly embrace and want to do it. They want to do it for the guys in the locker room. They keep it tight, and the circle is tight. And I think that's been a big part of the success, but then they also do understand the magnitude of what it means to the people outside. And they want to do it for the fans and the fan base in the state of Nebraska. And so that also fuels them as well. So it's really special. And man, it was really, that was probably today. And I was sitting there and I got emotional when the guys checked out, and I've been able to cover a lot of really cool moments in my career, but that was at the top for me. I think that was top 5 for me of just a memory, that moment of I'll remember forever, just of everybody kind of taking in the fan base, sitting next to Kent, watching the players. It just was, it's hard to describe, but it was so cool. And I think everybody felt it, and will be something that I think everybody that was a part of will remember forever.
Yeah, 27 wins as well. That's never happened in a single season for the Huskers, and you got a chance to empty your bench in the NCAA tournament. That does not happen all that often. We'll step aside. Jess had mentioned a conversation with Jamarcus Lawrence. We'll get that on the other side of this break. Still more to do. About 20 or so minutes left here on Sports Nightly for tonight.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Month. Woo! And this is Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years straight. Hop in and drive the Stampede.
Get $6,750 cash or 0 for 60 with 0 down and no payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 cash on F-150.
Get to Ford Truck Month.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We continue to celebrate that first NCAA tournament win for Husker men's hoops. They'll get set to take on Vanderbilt. We'll find out the time. We do know they'll play on Saturday, and maybe we'll dive into Vanderbilt just a little bit in the final segment. Want to get to more of that locker room reaction from Jessica Coody. Jamarcus Lawrence, a guy that he was here, left, came back, and now gets to experience some history. And here's Jamarcus after the win earlier today.
Well, how did it feel when that buzzer ticks down and you guys got the win and made history?
Oh my gosh, I hope I'm a legend. I hope all of us are on just a statue one day or something, man. But I'm confident we're the best team in Nebraska history to go down. That's what it means, and I mean it's for you guys as well too. You guys have been around this thing for a very long time, for a while. Like I said, it's not about us. It's not about individual. It's about the state. And I think the group of guys, we all had that mentality.
You seem to be really confident. What was kind of your approach to today and how you wanted to kind of come out and be a part and your role on this stage today?
Yeah, no doubt. We made a couple tweaks on offense. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen, like Sam was bringing up the ball most of the time. Just, I'm better off the ball. Like, it's simple like that. I think I'm just a natural scorer. My teammates and coaches, they instilled so much confidence in going into this one. It was just like, just get to the rim or just shoot that shot in practice. And I'm just like, okay, I'm tripping. Like, just get back to who you were at the beginning of the season. And I was just like, yeah, it's a new season. I got nothing to lose. So I just went out there, just played hard, just try to get the win.
You did that. It was great to see. A lot of people talk about Price and his scoring, but how about what he did on the defensive end and some of the other things that he did not scoring?
Man, it's crazy. I mean, like you said, he was like that at the beginning of the year. And then I said, obviously, not just him, but as a team-wise, we just kind of, let that go, towards the end of the year. But I told him before the game, I was like, Price, we're going to be good offensively. We're good when we're a badass on defense. And like I said, we just came off rip. Obviously, we let him get a little comfortable in the beginning. That was on us, though. But we went back to the drawing board, and we just locked in from there. But, yeah, his length, his activity, I think he had the most juice I've seen all year today. And it was great to see.
How about Rinkenberg and the boards, and how important was that for you guys?
Yes, so I kept telling after every media, I'm like, you guys are keeping us in the game. I'm so proud of this guy because just what he goes through. He's not the flashiest guy. He doesn't score 20 points, but he just does all the little things for us. And I celebrate him more than anybody else on this team. But Rink is Rink. Rink is going to do Rink, but it's really just BK. I mean, like he was dominant on both ends. Yeah.
All right, and then I know you guys aren't satisfied with this one, so what's the approach to kind of celebrating this one, but also moving forward and getting ready for another one?
Yeah, let's not get caught up in the rah-rah, just positivity. We just got to keep our walls up, something we've been talking about all year. Get back to the film session tonight, And I think this, like I said before, this group does a very good job of just flushing games out, win or loss. So
Husker Nation showed out for you guys too.
I mean, it was crazy. I expected this, but just seeing it in person, it was just kind of crazy. Like I said, it was just a larger, what was it, the Pentagon? PBA South, but it was a larger Pentagon as well, just for the neutral site. It was amazing.
Congrats, Jamarcus.
Thank you.
Well, Jess, a really good perspective from Jamarcus Lawrence. He said it's not just for us, but it's for you on the other side of the microphone. It's for everybody in this state, and I think everybody echoes that sentiment on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Heard that a lot. And I thought it was pretty interesting, too, just hearing him talk about he looked different today than what we've seen the last few weeks. And, I think you saw it from the start. Just the way he was shooting the basketball. He just was you saw the confidence. And hopefully he can carry that over. I think they're going to continue to need that from him. And going back to what Coach Hoiberg also said about Braden Frager, I mean, having conversations with Braden as well, and while the shot hasn't fallen for him, he's found other ways to contribute. And the way he's crashed the boards the last few games, and we saw that again today too, he provided just such a spark even when his shot wasn't falling. But I talked about this earlier, but that one that went in at the end, you saw him kind of release a lot, like, thank goodness. So hopefully, again, that will carry over into Saturday's game, and he can continue to maybe relieve some of that pressure and keep it rolling moving forward. Both those guys I think are going to be instrumental, but it was great to see Jamarcus kind of return to his form and feel loose and confident out there today.
Yeah, the point to Braden and what he meant on the floor today was plus 29. That was, if you're into the plus minus deal on the box score, that's tied for Bryce Samford on the best on the team. So he had 13 points. Yeah, the shots weren't going down, but he was effective defensively, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and had a couple of steals as well. Still one more segment left to go. I know Jess is getting ready. She probably wants to get out of the meeting room and get out to Bricktown or whatever she wants to do because it's her home state, and she's back home, and she's fired up. The Huskers are winners, and you're winners for sticking with us here on Sports Nightly. We'll have one more segment to wrap up the show next.
Lincoln. Discover the all-new 2026 Lincoln Nautilus. And for a limited time, enjoy exceptional financing offers. 0% APR for 48 months or 2.9% APR for 60 months. Browse in-store or shop online at woodhouselincoln.com today. With approved credit, must finance with Lincoln Automotive Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. We do know this. It will be Nebraska and Vanderbilt on the men's side. That'll be Saturday. Looking at it, Vanderbilt, the one thing that they do is they have a very, very quick tempo to them. They beat McNeese State earlier today, 27 wins on the season, and they had their first NCAA tournament win since 2012, but they have a ball-hawking backcourt. Tyler Tanner is one of their top guards, so I'm sure there will be a lot of chatter around Vanderbilt here over the next 24 hours. All right, Jessa, what are the plans tonight? What are we doing? Are we celebrating? What kind of... is everybody getting together and enjoying this?
I have not even all I've been doing is working, so I don't even know what everybody's doing. So we'll figure it out. Reminder, I'm from here, so I've also got friends and family in town. But yes, there's a lot of folks that are here that I know that are around, and a lot of coworkers that have made the trip down that are wondering what we're doing, and forgetting that, hey, some of us have a nightly show that we have to put on the air. Hey, one more note on wrestling, 3 for 3. Antrell Taylor has advanced too.
Let's go.
That's continuing to roll. And so looking good for Husker wrestling.
That screen that you had going on, that was like 15 different
I told you. Yeah. You see it?
Fantastic.
So you can watch all of them because it's craziness. So
yeah,
that's what I was telling you. It's a quad box, but that's what 4. But this is 8. What is it? 8
Octobox.
There you go.
I think of Octomom on the HDTV.
Did you go to the training table today?
No,
Kyle.
I was too busy watching the game. We had some things going on today. There was some. There it is. Christopher Sullivan Diaz, by the way. Big thanks to him. He's been on baseball as well. Russ Brown helping us out. Josh Hilkeman editing everything together, including the montage for Kent Pavvela. Again, we'll have the coverage an hour before we know tip-off is going to be on Saturday for men's basketball. 12:30 tomorrow, Friday tip-off for the women. Nebraska and Baylor, Matt Coatney and Jeff Greesh. Ben McLaughlin, Nick Hanley will be out. In Ann Arbor, as baseball has a winning streak on the line, they'll take on Michigan Friday through Sunday. 2:30 coverage tomorrow will be the start of that. Baseball's won 11 straight games. And then softball, Nate Rohr is going to be in East Lansing Friday through Sunday series. You can hear all those games on the Huskers app online at Michigan State. So it's a busy time of year, Jess. I mean, there's so much going on, but you're right in the thick of everything. OKC, your worlds are colliding right now with the amount of Husker red in Bricktown.
Yes. It was pretty weird flying into Oklahoma City and then getting on a bus and then having to Uber to, around, because I'm used to just being able to drive around. But no, it's been great. And, just again, I feel like I've just got to make note of this, that the last time I was in this arena, my Thunder won the Western Conference Finals. So then Nebraska makes history today. And so hopefully we keep it rolling. I feel like good things happen when I'm in this Paycom Center. So.
Yeah, and a lot of good things hopefully will happen again on Saturday. Husker fans, I think that is one of the bigger takeaways outside of the game. I think the national announcers and the sense of shock of the people in that area that saw the way the Huskers took over, not just the tickets, but they showed up and they showed out for an early game, 11:40 tip-off. I mean, that's one of the massive takeaways of what we saw today.
Yeah, it was funny because I was walking back to go to my seat, and I walked right behind the TV guys, and Chris Webber was just like shaking his head, like in awe of the Go Big Reds at the time. They were all like, holy cow. And so I think they definitely put the country on notice, like, hey, here we are. And I think a lot of folks will be paying attention on Saturday. But one more thing, I know we got about a minute left. Pretty cool. I was walking with Kent to record that segment earlier, and there were still a lot of Husker fans still in the building, and they saw us walking, and Kent got a standing ovation. I sent you the video. So it's pretty cool that I think a lot of fans really excited for Kent as well. It's been a long time coming for him as well.
Yeah, I mean, you said that video, and you could see he's beaming with happiness and pride, and he's been at this for a long time, and certainly incredibly happy for Kent and the years that he has put into this product and to Nebraska men's basketball, and to have it pay off for that first NCAA tournament victory. You got the sense that this year was the year. So, Jess, thanks so much for hopping on. Go have some fun. Yeah, you've been working all day.
All right. Yeah, let's keep it rolling, guys.
That's right.
Have a good weekend.
Jessica Coody, great stuff from her. We'll have more on social media with a lot of her interviews and things around Saturday's game, and I'm sure for the off day, she's just all over it. Great stuff from Jess today. Chris and Russ on the 1s and 2s. I'm Kyle Crooks. Husker Nation, enjoy this one.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Once a year, a rhythm thunders across the countryside. It can't be tamed. It can only be driven. It's Ford Truck Month. Let's ride. These trucks, they haul, tow, and conquer everything in their path. So hold on tight and drive the stampede.
The Stampede is running at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 cash on Super Duty.
Get to Ford Truck Month.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Right now is the perfect time to upgrade your ride with Woodhouse Nissan, your destination for selection, value, and amazing savings. Receive 0% APR for 60 months on select 2025 and 2026 Nissan Rogues, Muranos, and Pathfinders when you finance with NMAC. Or save up to $1,200 off MSRP with available Woodhouse trade-in and finance discount on all new Nissan models. Visit us in Bellevue or Omaha, or browse our offers online today. With approved credit, $299 doc fee due at sign.